Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you how I make my sage and butternut squash risotto. It is so good, totally comforting, but yet it's got a really sophisticated taste to it so that you can serve it to your guests and they'll think it's like the most delicious thing in the world. But of course, you need to know how to make it right, which is what I'm going to show you how to do step by step, starting with showing you exactly what you're going to need. You're going to need some arborio rice or risotto rice, finely diced butternut squash, finely chopped celery, onion, garlic, some white wine, fresh chopped sage, unsalted butter, Parmigiano Reggiano, and you're also going to need extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and some chicken stock that you need to have simmering, which I do. It's on my back burner, ready for me to start cooking. So this risotto is really simple. It's going to use the same technique that I showed you in my basic white risotto, but we're going to add some flavor to it with butternut squash and sage, and it's just so delicious. Totally restaurant worthy if it's done right, which I'm going to show you how to do. So let's go over to the stove. I have a large skillet with high sides, and you want to make sure it's nice and wide. You would never want to make risotto in a stock pot or a little saucepan like this because it becomes out really kind of gummy. So you want to make sure you have a nice wide pan. And in here I have about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil preheating over medium-high heat. And now I'm going to add in all of my veggies. The garlic, butternut squash, the onion, celery, everything. I'm going to season this with salt and pepper. Now, butternut squash is very, very sweet, and you can make the same exact recipe with any other squash that you might have on hand, or even pumpkin would be wonderful. Now, I'm just going to give this a toss, and I'm going to cook this together until the veggies are starting to cook down and they start to develop a nice caramelized color around the edges. Veggies look perfect, so now I'm going to add in my arborio rice. Give this a mix till the rice is coated with the oil and with all of the veggies. Give it a stir. That looks wonderful. Smells so great too. So now I'm going to add in some wine. Now if you do not want to use wine, you don't cook with wine, you don't like wine, you can just eliminate the wine altogether and just add in a ladle of chicken stock. That's all. But the wine does add, a certain flavor that a risotto should always have. And you might not think it makes a difference, but it really does. So, just like my white risotto, we need to wait until this reduces so we can start adding our chicken stock. And I'll show you what this looks like once it's reduced. My wine has reduced and it's been soaked up by the rice. So now we're going to start adding in the chicken stock. And you want to add one ladle at a time. Give it a nice little stir, and once that has reduced, you can add in another ladleful of chicken stock. The reason why you want to do it little by little is because that's how you're going to get that creamy, velvety consistency that a risotto should have. You don't want to add all the chicken stock and then walk away, gossip on the phone with your girlfriends like we all know we like to do. But you can't do that when you make risotto. You have to be patient. You have to sit next to it. You have to caress it. You have to give it some love. Just stir it. Once it's been soaked up, you add another ladleful. And you do that for about 22 minutes or until the rice is pretty much tender. And then I'll show you what it looks like after 22 minutes. My risotto looks just about perfect. It's been about 24 minutes and it's just tender enough so that now I'm going to add in my last ladleful. And I want to add some fresh sage. This is going to be so delicious. I'm so excited to have dinner. And season it with salt and pepper because we haven't seasoned this. We've only seasoned the veggies. So season to taste always. Give it a nice stir. Cook it for another minute. It should always be very loose because as it cools, it gets thicker. So, like the Italians say, it should always be con una onda, with a wave. So, I'm gonna let this cook for another 30 seconds and I'm gonna go back at the counter to finish it up. This looks incredible. So now I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of unsalted butter, room temperature, and my freshly grated Parmigiano. You always want to finish your risotto that way. The only one that I don't finish this way is my seafood. Because when I cook seafood, I generally don't use cheese to serve it. I think in northern Italy they do, but in Southern, we really don't. And I'm from the South, I'm from Naples, so I do it as I was told because, you know, my grandmother will come after me. So, this looks incredible. The butter has melted, cheese is all nice and melted in there. Now, traditionally, you should serve this on warm plates, and I've said this before. You can put your plates into an oven, 200 degrees, just to keep them warm, but, you know, I gotta get to eating, you know? Look at that consistency. Unbelievable. And like I said before, if you go to a restaurant and the risotto is really thick, you might want to send it back. That's a risotto. Mouth. That sage with the butternut squash is a perfect match. This goes to show you what a perfect match is. Think of basil and tomatoes. Think of something like I'm giving you just an example. Sage and butternut squash is perfect. And as you can see, it was quick and easy, just took a few steps, and if you follow my steps and techniques, you will have the perfect risotto every single time. Now to get this recipe and others, you go to www.laureninthekitchen.com, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.